everyone, this is Carol. Welcome to this webinar called Keep Them Coming Back for More, Managing Your Customers in Insightly. I will be guiding you through this tutorial today to hopefully get you guys better familiar with creating contacts as well as the organizations, and really being able to follow along and importing your contacts or organizations into your system. You can also find us at support.insight.ly through our email, and then you can also find us on Twitter at InsightlyApp and Facebook.com/Insightly. So I just want to take this time to thank you guys all for taking the initiative to learn a little bit more about Insightly and really get the most out of your account here. We really appreciate our customers' feedback, so if you have any suggestions, I'll also be letting you know where you can give us that feedback, and we're always looking to improve our system there, so we'd love to hear what you have to say. So today on our agenda, we're going to learn how to manage your customers with Insightly to improve your sales and organization. We're also going to be creating new and import existing contacts to manage your customers. We're going to tailor your Insightly account to meet your company's needs by using your custom fields. And we're also going to be going over how to use the mobile app. And we're also going to be learning more about the email functionalities and the sidebar. So here's a little bit of homework. If you do have a CSV file, I do recommend that you pull that out just because you are able to follow along with me if you have that readily available right now. I will be doing an import, so I can definitely guide you through that process and you can follow along with me as I'm doing it. So there's just a few things to note here. Contact and organization fields, the name is required in order for you to have a successful import. And you also must have all 5 address components, meaning that you do need the street number, the city, the state or province, the zip or postal code, and the country. So if that's not available and you actually don't have a piece of that information, you will need to put a placeholder such as null in that field. And we'll be going over that in more depth once I begin this demo. Let's go ahead and get started on this demo. I just want to first start off in the home page where you're able to see your most recent activity as well as any new feature updates that we have here on the very top. And below here is the recent activity, so meaning that if there's any new additional information being added into your system, this is where you would find that information. You can view all users and you can filter this out. So you can filter by activity type. You can also filter by a specific user as well. So you can really see this as a running news feed, just like a social media page. And then you'll find at the top that you can add new items very quickly by just clicking on this plus icon button at the top here, and you'll see you have these options. You can also just use our global search bar to search all of your data across the board of all these categories here. So once you start typing in a name or any record, Insightly would just start populating that data for you. And then we also have a recent item. So this is definitely handy once you're working on an item and you want to just quickly jump back to what you were working on recently. You can just do that here. And we'll also move on to the calendar. You'll see here that we do have a basic calendar for you to view all of your tasks as well as your events and milestones. If you would like to see other users' events, you will be able to see that here if you just check off their name, and you'll be able to populate any events that they have. And then we also have a notification settings. This is important because if you are looking to follow any items and receive those email notifications, you will need to click onto this bell icon here and make sure you have that set up properly. And then I'll quickly go over some of these things within the profile icon. This is important because if you are an administrator, you will receive these 2 extra tabs here saying system settings and billing and account. So system settings, we will be going over that today. This is where you would probably find most of your customizations in order for you to tailor your Insightly account to your company. So we'll be going over that in just a moment as well. All right, so let's go ahead and get started on the tasks here. So I just want to show you that this is where you're going to find your tasks. Anything that you have to do, to complete, day-to-day things, this is where it would be hosted. And we'll move on to the contacts. So with the contact section, it's really meant for you to create any new contacts or host any current relationships or clients that you have. Same thing goes for organizations, but instead of people, they are companies. So if you are looking to have any current customers, you would just host them in these two sections here. So we'll go ahead and do a run through real quick now of how you can create one of these contacts, as well as seeing our fields that we have provided. So for example, let's just continue and create a name. Let's just say we have Zach here, day. So Insightly will find any duplications that you have within your system. So if you do see that duplication, you can click into it. Perhaps maybe they are a different person, and you can actually see their organization there. So if it doesn't match, then you can just continue on here. So I'll actually just create one of these right now. If you have their email address, any phone numbers, websites, even your linked, so their LinkedIn or Twitter account, Insightly will actually search for that by using the email address that you provide, and you'll be able to see that in just a moment here. But if you do find a LinkedIn or Twitter account, meaning that their email address is connected with their public profile, you will be able to receive that active link. So just to keep that in mind there, that's definitely a useful tool. And then we'll just continue on here. We have the dates to remember. Perhaps you have a birth date that you want to remember, or a specific day. This is where you would input that information here. We also have any additional information, any contact information. And then we also have these fields down below. So you'll see here, this is actually labeled customer success. And these are actually fields that are not provided within Insightly. These are fields that we've actually created within our system settings. So if a custom field is really meant for you to document a specific piece of information that's very specific to your company. So you'll see here for us, for example, we have subscription plan. This is something we want to document across the board of all our customers or our contacts. So this is something that I would definitely create a custom or use a custom field for, so that way I'm able to document that information. And I'll be able to show you this right after I finish saving this contact, and I'll bring you to our system settings where you can build out these on your own. So just one last thing, there are the permissions levels right here. You can make it visible to everyone, only the creator. However, if you are an administrator, you are able to still see any private records, even if it is set to only the creator, since you are the administrator there. And then we also have select a team, and I'll briefly go over that as well when we go into our system settings. You can create an entire team on the back end of things, and you can select that. And then you can also select individual users. So this is just a multi-select here. All right, so I'll go ahead and save that contact, and we'll move into our system settings now. So once you've clicked onto your system settings, just note again, this is only available to our administrators. This is where you would find all of the customizations. First thing is this team area. This is where you would be able to name your team and then build that team of yours in your Insightly account. However, today we're going to focus on these custom fields, since this is definitely one of the more popular features we have, because you really are able to customize this. So you'll see here, I can add a field. Let's just say within this field, I want to document the subscription plan, as we've done earlier. And we'll skip over here. the field type, you'll see that we have a ton of different options. You can create a plain text field, just meaning one of these regular squares right here. We have the drop down field, which is what I've shown earlier with the subscription plan. So we can do our basic plan. And just to note, this is a quick tip that I can give here, is to leave this first one blank, because it will default to this blank space instead of you potentially misdocumenting a piece of information. So that's definitely something to keep in mind there. So let's just continue to add this, and you can just continue to add more if you would like. You can minimize these as well, so whatever you would like there. Once you've built that out, you can save that custom field. But we'll keep going on with the different fields that we offer. So we also do have a date field. This is probably a little bit more important for if you're looking to document multiple dates. So an important date would go there. A checkbox, so it would just be one of these boxes that you can check off. A numeric value, so if you are looking to document perhaps maybe a quote amount or something like along those lines, you would need to select the numeric value. This is important because if you select a text field, and you can input a number there as well. However, if you are looking to use our advanced reporting feature and you want to be able to sum up or average any of those numbers out, Insightly won't be able to read that unless you select the numeric value field. So just keep that in mind there. We also have our URL field, so if you have a website that you're interested in documenting, definitely utilize this URL field right here, because it will provide you with an active link. And then we have a multi-line text field, which is just one of these drag and drops. If you are looking to have a little summary within that contact, you can just put that in there. All right, so let's just go ahead and save this custom field. And you'll see here you have custom fields for each of these categories. So they are all separate. You can create brand new ones for each of these. You can just create the same custom field as well if you would like. However, they are mutually exclusive there. So those are the custom fields. And let's continue on here. We'll go back into the contact section now. And let's just click into Aaron here. You'll see that I have all of my custom fields, all of my information, and then you'll scroll down and you'll see this option below where it says links. So what a link is really for you to be able to create that connection between two records in order to navigate and describe that relationship between those two. So for instance, you'll see here that their organization is already linked. I can just click on that and it'll bring me straight to their company. I can go back here. And if you're looking to link them again, let's just say I'll link them to myself here. And you'll see that you can actually provide a relationship. So contact to contact, you are able to provide a relationship. Same thing goes for organization to organization. You can provide the relationship there. So, and you can find these relationships customizable within your system settings as well. And you'll see that it is a swap. So let's just say works for or is the boss of. You can actually swap this. So Carol is the boss of, or you can swap that. Instead, it'll say Carol works for. So that's just definitely another great way for you to really manage your contacts and really build out and map out that whole entire relationship they have between other contacts that you have. So let's just save that. And then you'll see here, this is what it will show like. All right, and if you go up here to the top, you can tag these contacts. So how I would recommend utilizing the tagging section, it's really meant for you to group together specific contacts or specific groups together. So it really differs from a custom field, because I would recommend using a custom field for documenting a specific piece of information that would apply to majority or if not all of your contacts. With the tags, you can really create that specific piece of information and document that and group them together. So for instance, let's say we want to document the region. We have California. Maybe we want to say that we want to email these people in April, I have a tag for that. So in order to tag items with multiple words, you will have to use some type of space there. So meaning an underscore or a dash, or else it won't allow you to create that multi-word tag there. So you'll just have to click on the space bar and then it'll create that tag for you. We'll go ahead and save those here. All right, and then once you've created this tag, how you would search this is, as long as you go back to your contacts page, the same goes across for organizations as well. So once we'll go here, contact tags, you'll see that I have my tag California. And then I'll find all of my contacts tagged with California there. I can delete this tag or I can rename this tag. So if it's something that I don't want anymore, I can adjust that here. I can select all of these contacts and then I'll receive these new actions buttons at the top. So I have the bulk edit, I have the manage tags, add a link to all of these contacts, invite them to a Google Hangout, add a note, send an email. I can delete all of these contacts and I can also export and send to MailChimp. So exporting these specific contacts will provide me a CSV file through the email address that I log into with, and then send to MailChimp. If you are a MailChimp user, we do integrate with them, and you are able to directly send all of these email addresses to MailChimp. So if you have a mailing list in your account already, once you've connected the two, you'll find all of your email lists that you've built out within your MailChimp account. You can actually select one of those email templates and then send them straight to MailChimp. That way you can really manage your contacts and have all that important information within Insightly, but you are still able to create those more design-heavy templates within MailChimp. All right, so let's continue on here. One other thing I want to show you, you'll see the star as we went over with our notification settings. This is where you would be able to receive those notifications as long as you're following this item. So let's just unfollow this real quick. Once you click on the star, you can click here or you can click on this follow button. Now any of the check marks that I've checked off within my notification settings, I'll receive those email updates. So any new items that have been added, whether it's within the email section, if I'm saving emails to Aaron, I'll receive that. Any notes that I've added, and we do integrate with Evernote. So if you would like to add a note, you can do that here, or you can link your Evernote notes here as well. We'll go into Files. You'll see here we have Dropbox. We integrate with Box, OneDrive, Google Drive, as well as PandaDoc. So if you utilize any of these here, this is a great way for you to save yourself some space on storage, because this will actually not count towards your storage space within Insightly because the documents are hosted through a third party. So if you have any important pieces of information and you want to link that here, you can do that. Or if you would like, you can still just upload a file through your computer there. So you can just click on this and then you'll be able to search your files and add that here. We also have the task tab. So if you have any tasks that you need to complete with Aaron, let's just say you need to email him or you need to make sure that you follow up with them in one way or another, you can utilize this task section by adding the task. And then we also have events. And then we also have a couple of integrations with accounting software. So we have Xero, and then we also have QuickBooks Online. So I haven't inputted that there, but you are able to find those within your system settings here under integrations, and you can just install all of these or whichever one of these that you use there. So something to keep in mind. All right, so let's go ahead and start beginning this bulk import now, just so we are able to continue on and make sure that you're set up properly within your system. So let's go ahead and import contacts and notes. You would just click here on this right hand side. once you've done that, you'll see that we have a ton of different options here. You can import your contacts from Gmail, through MailChimp. We would recommend the CSV file or an Excel sheet. Those two kind of tend to work a little bit easier. However, you are able to utilize these other options here. You are able to import your contacts from Outlook, as well as Act9. And then if you would like to import your notes, this would be a separate import that you would have to complete through a CSV file. So for now, today we're going to import your contacts from a CSV file. I'll go ahead and select my file now. So now that I have my CSV file, I'll go ahead and import the contacts. And then you'll see here that it's actually bringing you to this page where you're going to have to map back your information. So we have our column name, and these are the columns that I have within my CSV file. And let me just open up that file for you so you're able to really see what I have there. So I also want to show you which fields you will need in order to have that successful import. So let's go ahead and I'll bring you into this page now. All right, so you'll see here that we have all 5 of the components of the address where you must have in order to import successfully. So we have the street, we have the city, we have the state, the postal code, and the country. So remember that these are the 5. You will need to put a placeholder like null if you are missing that piece of information. You'll see here that since this is a demo, I don't have very much information here, but if this were the case, you'll just have to make sure that you're inputting in something to have Insightly read over it so that it won't skip over the contact completely. So just bear that in mind. And let's go ahead and minimize that now. And you'll see here, this is what it will bring you to. You'll have your column name, and then you'll have your data, and then you'll try to make sure that this matches up together. So these are the Insightly fields. If in the case that Insightly can't read your column name, what you would do, you'll see something like this where it says no match, you choose right here. You can choose either to not import this field if it can't read it, and Insightly would just skip over that column completely, or you can match that back up to something that we provide within Insightly. So whether it is a default or standard field that we provide, or a custom field that we have. So you'll see here we have our tags, but we also have our custom fields. So as long as your document is identical to your custom fields, Insightly will be able to read that. So that does mean word for word, so letter for letter, everything has to match identically in order for Insightly to read that information, or else the import won't be successful as well. So once you've done that, you would just import these contacts. Skip the first row when importing. This is important. It always will just default to being checked off. However, you'll notice here it's really for you to not import those column headers so that it skips over into your actual data there. So let's just import these contacts. You'll see this little notification at the top. We placed your file in the queue to be imported, and Insightly will email you as soon as it's finished. So that information will be in your email. I'll actually hop over here. So perfect. So you'll see here, this was my import. No items were imported. Since Aaron Rod is actually a duplication, it'll show you exactly the number of the contact, meaning the ID number that we provide, the record number. And then this is Aaron's name. It's telling me that it's a duplication. If there were items that were duplicated, it would list that off right there as well. So that way you won't have any duplications within your system if you know that you could potentially have those multiple names there. So let's go ahead. Let me refresh this. I want to show you how you can delete your recent import. So maybe perhaps you made a mistake and you accidentally imported contacts that you wish you to not have within your system. You'll just click into one of your recent imports, and from there let's see if I have any here. So I don't believe I have any contacts. All you would have to do is just select all and then just delete that entire import. So it would look similar to this actually. So let's just go back here and then you'll be able to delete. So it'll provide you with these options at the top again, and then you can just delete those contacts there. All right. And let's continue on here. I also want to show you that we do have our mobile app where you are able to quickly add contacts as well. So this is just a really great way for you to be able to use your Insightly account while you're on the go. So one moment here while I get that set up for you, and I can give you a demo on that. All right, perfect. So now that we've got that set up here, we have my mobile app, and once you're logging into your mobile app, you'll be brought straight into your first tab, which is the category of tasks. But you'll focus on today, or what we're going to be focusing on today, is the contact section. So we have our contacts here. You'll just scroll through here. What else you can do is just click on this plus button at the very top. You are able to scan your business cards. So depending on your subscription plan, that's where you would be able to find out how many you get per month or per user. So just make sure to check on your pricing plan there for that. And then you can also just create a new contact straight from your phone. So you're brought into this page once we clicked on that button. You can add your first name, last name, a role, all of the fields basically that are provided within the Insightly account on your internet desktop, I guess. You will be able to find on your phone as well. So the same exact fields. You also have your custom fields if you have custom fields there. And you also have your permissions. So same thing goes for on your computer where you're able to select everyone, the owner of this new contact here, your team, and individuals. So everything is very similar there. And you'll see here, since I didn't input a contact, it's actually letting me know that I need the first and or last name. So let's just click cancel instead. And let's go ahead and I'll click into the organizations now. You'll see here it's very similar. You'll be able to add the new organization, all of the same exact fields as well. So you can just input that information quickly and just really make sure that you never miss out on the opportunity of documenting that information there. So I'll click into this one here for now. You'll see here that we have the details and then we have the links. So if you have any linked items, you'll see all of those there, whether they're organizations, opportunities, projects, and so on. And then we also have the related. So if we have any tasks, events, files, notes, emails, you would be able to view all of that information as well. You can add a photo actually for these organizations or contacts. So if you have a photo, you can input that there. And then you can also add these items here. So if you clicked on this plus sign at the very top right-hand corner, you are able to add a task, event, a file, a note, or a note with a recording. So that's something to keep in mind. Same thing goes for links. I didn't actually show you. Same works exactly the same where you click on this top right-hand corner with the plus sign. You can link other items to these organizations, so or these contacts. So if you want to add a linked contact, organization, opportunity, or project, you can do that here as well. All right, perfect. So let's go back into our demo now, and I'll continue on to show you more functionalities with our emailing features that we have. So let's go here. Perfect. So now that we're brought back into my demo account, we'll go into the email section here. Within the email section, you really are able to manage all of your contacts because you're able to document that interaction or all those conversations that you've had that are really important for your team members to know. So meaning once you're saving any emails, you don't want to save everything or try to have to go through every single email within your Gmail account to search for that specific conversation. But what you can actually do is just, you'll see here, I'm actually brought into the My Emails tab. If you scroll all the way down, or if you have not used it, it'll probably just be straight up onto this main box right there, but we'll go ahead. You'll see that every single person is provided with their own personal mailbox address. So this mailbox link is really meant for you to copy and paste it into the to, or if you're wanting to save your response, you can put it into the CC field. So you'll see here, forward CC or BCC email address or email messages to Insightly. And let's go ahead and actually just, I'll show you how you can utilize this here. So we'll copy that, bring it into my emails tab. Let's just say I have this email that I'm looking to save here. What I would do is just forward this email, paste that into the to field right there. What Insightly will do, so I'm going to send this, what Insightly will do is just read the first and last name of this contact as well as their email address. So if the contact is already in the system, then Insightly will just place that email directly into the emails tab. So I'll show you that really quickly actually. So as we went over earlier, we do have this emails tab. If I've saved that, it will just host under this tab here. However, if the first and last name and the email address don't match and it's actually not within your system, Insightly will actually create a brand new contact for you. So that way it'll make sure that you have a place to host that email and you're not losing that information there. So that's how essentially you would use that. Same thing goes for if you're trying to reply. So let's actually reply to one of these. All you would do is just place it in the CC or the BCC field, and then you would be able to save your response. And it would still read the first and last name and then the email address as well. And then I also want to go over, if you are a Gmail user, we do integrate with Google, and we do have our Insightly sidebar here. So this is definitely a great tool to use if you are a Chrome user or a Gmail user. You will be able to receive this add-on if you go to their web store to download it. It's called the Insightly sidebar. This is great because you'll, instead of having to copy and paste that link, you'll just be able to click on this button and save that email straight to Insightly. Oops, so I'm not logged in there. Well, actually, let's just log in really quickly. Sorry about that. Oops. All right. Perfect. So email saved. Click here to view it in Insightly. So I've just quickly saved that email. It'll turn gray once I've saved it, meaning that it's letting me know that I've saved that email already. I can add this link. So I can actually link this email to something else. So Insightly will already read the first and last name and the email address of that contact information. However, let's just say I want to link it to an organization or a project that I have. I know that I have a Abby Kingston project. So that might not be showing there, but you'll see here it'll just populate all of that information, and you'll be able to link it across all the different categories there. So that's definitely a great option. We also have the ability to create a contact and create a new lead. So if this contact, I'm going to hover over this, Insightly can actually not find a record within our account. So meaning that I can create a new contact or create a new lead. Also, one thing to show you that I didn't mention earlier, you can also save your responses. Instead of pasting that link again, you'll actually receive a different orange button at the top, orange icon, saying send and save to Insightly. So you can save your response and just make sure that everyone knows that your response can match up with their response, or maybe they don't, you don't want your team members to repeat themselves. So this is just another great thing for internal collaboration there. All right, and these are grayed out here just because Insightly can't read that this is a contact within my system. So you would actually be able to create tasks, you can create opportunities, you can actually create projects, as well as see any recent emails that you've had with this person. So at the top here we have tasks. You can actually see all of your tasks here at the top, any overdue, due today, due in 7 days, and completed tasks, and so on. So that's one quick way so you can view your tasks without having to jump back and forth to your Insightly account. And then you can also search your contacts within Insightly or any of these other options here. All right, and let's just jump back in here. If you guys have any questions, just please feel free to continue to put them into the box there, and I'll make sure to get those answered to you since we are reaching the end of our demo here. Perfect. So now that we're at the end of our demo, I also want to let you know that we do have our online community and knowledge base at support.insight.ly. You are able to find any helpful articles as well as tutorials, videos. You can find all of that within our support site. We also have other webinars, but you are able to find any pre-recorded videos here on our how-to videos. You can ask a question in our community. This is a really great spot for you to see what other of our users are using Insightly for and how they're utilizing it. So if you need little quick tips and suggestions on specific companies or areas or industries, this would be a great place to go there. We also have a product feedback page, so if you have any suggestions, we would definitely appreciate you typing that in, and then you can also actually have that viewed by our other users, and people can vote on that. They can comment on it, and that way our product team really knows where to go to find those suggestions there and to see what our customers are looking for. All right, so today what we covered here was how Insightly can really help you with your business in importing and creating those contacts by utilizing the custom fields, linking items together, so creating those relationships. We've also gone through the mobile app, email, and Insightly sidebar. And how these features will really make your life easier is that you'll be able to improve that organization as well as your internal collaboration with your team members, as well as the efficiency. So hopefully that will help you in the long run. The more you utilize Insightly, the less you'll have to really think about where your information is and access that information easily as well. So I want to let you know that we have some upcoming webinars. You can find this on the webinars page. We always update these around every 2 months or add additional ones. So if you have any suggestions, actually, we will be sending a survey out at the end of this webinar, and then you can suggest something. Maybe you struggle with a specific area within Insightly. We would love to be able to build out a webinar on that topic for you if it's a common problem as well. So definitely give us your suggestions and feedback on that, and we can work on that together there. All right, so let's actually go ahead and jump into some of these questions that we have here.